All right, today I'm going to give you 3 tips that you will need to implement with your sales teams and their sales process if you want to not only survive what's going on right now with the coronavirus, but if you actually want to thrive in the uncertain times we are in the economy. You see, it's very easy to get lazy with your salespeople in times of economic expansion when it's much easier to sell. But in periods of economic contraction, every shortcoming in your reps' sales ability and their skills will only be magnified and will result in lost sales for you and your company. So here's tip number 1, write this down. You have to train your people to become problem finders and problem solvers, not product pushers. It's not enough in the era that we live in today to be just good at problem solving. You now have to even be better at problem finding. And that means asking the right questions that uncover challenges and problems that your prospect doesn't even know they have. Or maybe they know about a problem, but they don't know how bad it could be if they don't solve it. Because without helping your prospects uncover the problems in their mind, it's impossible for them to ever want to buy from you so you can actually solve their problem, right? Now, what are most salespeople? Well, most salespeople are trained, it's not their fault, but they're trained to be what are called product pushers. Most salespeople do what? They ask a few logical-based questions such as, John, can you tell me 2 problems that you have? Prospect tells them, then they go into their sales pitch and they talked about their features and benefits and how they have the best this and the best that and their competition's no good. That's like taking a bucket of mud, throwing it up against the wall, hoping and praying that something we say is going to trigger the prospect to magically want to buy from us. I call that hopium. It is a drug that so many salespeople and companies are still on, where they just hope and pray that something they're going to say is going to make the person want to buy from them. Such a hard and unpredictable way to actually build business in this type of economy, for sure, even a good economy. So tip number 1, become a problem finder and solver, not a product pusher. Now, tip number 2, this is an important one. Curb your salespeople's enthusiasm. Now, what do I mean by that? I do not mean for them not to be excited about what they sell, but have them keep that inside. Have them keep that excitement to themselves. Because when your salespeople are talking to prospects, whether in person or on the phone, the more excited they are and the more enthusiastic they are, the more it causes your prospect to run the other way. Think about yourself. When a salesperson is trying to sell you something and they're really enthusiastic and really excited, pushing you, what do you typically do? Well, here's what the average person does. Number 1, they either get defensive, they throw out objections, and they reject what you're offering. Does that ever happen? Or number 2, they withdraw from you. When you call them, they don't answer. They don't return your text messages. They don't return your emails. They go into what I call witness protection mode. Does that ever happen? So train your salespeople how to be neutral, curb the enthusiasm. When they're talking to prospects, train them how to come across as more of an advisor, a trusted authority who's there to see if they can help them, not just there to sell them something. Curb the enthusiasm. Tip number 3, this is a really important one. How to ask the right questions at the right time in the conversation. Now, when I'm talking about questions, I'm not referring to just questions that you might have learned that are designed to get people to say what you want them to say. Those are just surface level questions. They're not going to bring out much emotion. They just don't work very well. I'm also not talking about just plain old consultative questions like, Mary, what's keeping you awake at night? Or who besides you is going to be involved in the decision? Or what are you looking for in a solution? Or can you tell me 2 problems you have? Prospects see those same questions over. They hear them hundreds of times a year. So when you say them because they're so overused by salespeople, it automatically causes them to put the wall up and sales resistance happen. Don't use those questions. They don't bring out any emotion. The questions I'm referring to are questions that are designed and intended to bring out your prospect's feeling side, their emotions. You see, your potential client knows their history, They know all their needs. They have all the answers your salespeople will ever need to make a sale. You, on the other hand, know which problems your solution solves. Your salespeople do as well. So all your salespeople really need are the right questions. That is the missing link. It's that simple. Your salespeople also need to know when and how to ask those questions. So I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to show you an overview list of questions that we use when we train companies, no matter what they sell, doesn't matter the product or service, their industry. We train companies, large enterprise, Fortune 500 companies. Our largest client is Google, all the way down to small businesses that have 1 to 2 salespeople, to individual salespeople who sell anything. The questions are the same. The structure is the most important part. So I'm going to share my screen with you. See if I can come up with something good for you. Hold on one second. Okay, so here we are. The first type of questions you have to train your salespeople on are called they're called connecting questions, and they help take the focus off your sales rep and put the focus on the prospect. So the prospect comes more open to what you're offering. The second type of questions that you're going to need to train them are called situation questions. They help find out what the present situation of the prospect actually is. The third, they're called problem awareness questions. They open up the emotional door to find out what their problems are. What caused the problems? This is where you go deeper, under the surface. And more importantly, how the problem's affecting them, even down to a personal level. When they uncover that with you, they're also uncovering that in their mind, and it becomes urgent for them to do something. Solution awareness questions help them involve their ideas, which strengthens the benefits of them wanting to solve the problem with you. Consequence questions, these are big, probably one of the most persuasive questions your sales teams can ever learn. Help your potential customers question their way of thinking and explore the consequences of not solving the problem. What are the possible ramifications if they don't do anything about this? We're going to learn how to qualify and then transition into our presentation, which is really only about 10% of a sales call. And then we're going to learn what are called commitment questions. We're not going to learn how to close with, do you want the red one or the blue one? People see that through a mile. Can't use old school techniques. They're not going to work, especially right now. Commitment questions help them commit and take the next step to purchase what you are offering, solving their problems, that your questions help them realize that they needed to do something about it. So there you go. 3 tips that we learned today that you can implement today. Number 1, teach your salespeople how to become problem finders and solvers, not product pushers. Huge. Tip number 2, curb their enthusiasm, make it inward. Just, I'm excited inside, but not showing that force on the outside. Be neutral. And then tip number 3, how to ask the right questions at the right time in the conversation. I hope those 3 tips help you. If you implement them, I can assure you that if you implement them with your sales teams, you're going to see a massive result. While other companies in your industry struggle because of what's going on, their businesses close down, you will be thriving because you are learning skills that put you far ahead of your competitors who are still using old school sales techniques that very rarely work in our day and age. So I hope that helped you. Look, we are here to support you as a company. I'm the CEO of 7th Level. We are always here. If you need anything, if you feel like we can help you, if you feel like you want to have your salespeople trained and learn the right questions to ask at the right time, learn how to become trusted authorities rather than product pushers that they just throw to the side, we can possibly help you. If you'd like, you're always welcome to book a call on our calendar. Either myself or one of our account executives can reach out to you if you'd like, have a brief conversation to see if we can actually help you. And then if we can, you're going to do very well. So take care. God bless. Stay safe. And we'll see you on a call. Thank you so much.